How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to the Enclave. So today we are going to be doing another gift video. It is going to be 5 gifts under 1,000 Rand. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so we are back. Number 1 on the list is going to be steel targets. So this can be a little bit tricky. I will be honest, we recently bought a pretty decent stand, set up everything for all the steel gongs, steel targets. It's got like paper target stands on top of it. Like, it was like a crazy setup. And so far, we actually haven't found a place that will allow us to use it. So both the wife and I are a little bit regretful of that. But what I will say is, if the person already has steel targets, they are something that degrade over time. So definitely, if you know someone who does shoot steel targets, they range in size, they range in price. I've put up an example here on the side. But yeah, again, it's sort of a consumable. So really nice thing to have replacements of. I feel like you can never have too many of them. So yeah, steel targets, number 1. I feel like that's a pretty cool gift for someone who already has access to that sort of thing. I would say buying a new person into shooting a bunch of steel targets might be dangerous. They are a little different than shooting paper or cardboard or whatever. And again, you might have an issue actually finding places that allow you to use those things. So anyways, moving on to number 2 is going to be target stands. Now, there are a lot of different options of these. The ones that I actually saw that made me think of this as a gift idea were actually little, like, steel frames that you stuck into the ground. And I think it was $650 or something for, I think it was 2 frames and a couple of targets. And I thought, okay, that's actually not bad considering those frames should last years. So then I looked again, saw this option that I put up on the side here. It's also a pretty cool option. There are very many different types of target stands out there at very many different prices. So take a look, and yeah, there's just an example there on the side. That is the target stands. I feel like beginner, expert, intermediate, I don't really think it matters. Set of target stands would be a pretty cool gift. So moving on, number 3, we have laser training rounds. So the example I put on the screen here just breaks the 1,000 Rand threshold. But I do know that this is a bit of an outlier. All the other ones I've looked at were actually sub 1,000. I just didn't find the exact one that I was looking at for the video. So there we go, that is sort of close enough. It also depends on the caliber. So if you're looking at things like rifle rounds or, for example, semi-auto rifle rounds like 223s or 308s, things like that, they are going to be probably higher than $1,000. But your handguns, your 9mm, 45s, 40s, those should all be under the 1,000 Rand mark. Those you can use without targets, but as you will see in future gift videos, there are actually some pretty cool laser training targets, but they do exceed the 1,000 Rand limit, which is why it's not included here. But yeah, laser training rounds, really great way to train with your firearm, your trigger, and yeah, that's a pretty valuable resource in my opinion. So yeah, moving on. Next up, we have magazines. I'm not gonna lie, I think I got like, yeah, There's one. There's two. Like this is just the last haul. There is no such thing as too many magazines. If you're doing any forms of competition, any forms of club shooting, anything like that, you are going to be dropping your magazines. You are going to be damaging and eventually breaking magazines. So having a good rotation of new magazines is something that I feel like is pretty necessary. In fact, if I'm shopping for a firearm, I will, without fail, look at the price, availability, aftermarket options, etc. on the magazines. I won't lie, I was looking at a shotgun that was quite similar to the VM15 Destroyer, and I could not for the life of me find magazines for that thing in this country. Not even at the place that sold the shotgun. So that was immediately like, what must I do? I must now import this stuff. I think it was going to have to come from the US because I couldn't get it directly from the manufacturer. So it was basically being shipped from the manufacturer to the US to me. And that's just unrealistic when you can get shotguns that have built-in tube magazines that you don't need to buy a new magazine, or other brands where you can just go down to your local store, things like Glock, Canik, CZ, where you can most likely find a magazine at your local store. So those are definitely things to think about. But like I say, great gift, something you can never have too many of. Some magazines. You also get some fun, like 50 round drums. So if you know the guy's got a Glock, that might be a very, it's sort of like a gag gift that you'd love. In fact, I could tell you now, if I bought my wife a 50 round or even a 30 round magazine for the Canics, she would absolutely love it. So magazines, great gift, and a lot of them are under 1,000 rand. So finally, we are moving on to number 5, which is going to be smaller gun bags or pistol gun bags. So I've put up an example here of the Glock pistol bag, which is basically a single handgun bag. That obviously depends on the size of your handgun. If you're carrying something like the Rival, you're probably only going to fit one in there. Whereas with the Elite Combat or something like a Glock 19, you'll probably fit 2 of them in there. Just do it like that. And you'll probably fit 2 of them in there. So that's a cool little gift. You do get some other options, like, I won't lie, it's kind of under stuff. I'm going to try and get to it. I actually didn't think I was going to show it on camera, but now I feel like I should, just to show you what you can actually get for 1,000 rand. That isn't a single gun bag. Oh, is it going to be heavy? Oh, okay, so this giant thing that literally has entire rows of magazine slots. Like, there's larger magazine slots, pistol magazine slots, rifle magazine slots. It is a really, really nice bag. And yeah, closing zips with one hand is pain. Yeah, so really nice bag, and that was only 950 at Waterfall Arms. So you can get something like the Glock bag, or you could get something slightly bigger than that, all for under the 1,000 rand mark. So yeah, as always, if you've got some more gift ideas under 1,000 rand, please feel free to leave them down below in the comments. We'll potentially do a part 2. And yeah, if you've got more time, please check out another video here on the side. If not, that's cool. Peace out.